What's up, guys? This is Marcia here with another episode of the Lady Strong Fitcast. And today I have a very special guest, Coach Nicole. And we're going to be talking about to work out pregnant or not to work out pregnant. That is the question.
So the big question is this: how were two women who didn't cheat and purchase a gym franchise model, how were they able to spread their mission and purpose by empowering and transforming hundreds of women's lives through fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability with a micro gym business model of women only? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. We are Lady Strong Fitness.
So Nicole, welcome on the show.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm super excited. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm really excited to have you on. I know this has been something that we've kind of talked about on the outskirts in regards to your own personal experiences while being pregnant. And I just want you to be able to share with the audience, because I know we do have some women inside our community who just found out they were pregnant or who are going through some sort of trimester, or that maybe is considering on getting pregnant. And we just want to share your overall experience when it comes to that. So, but before we begin, I just want to make sure we have a disclaimer out there to anyone that's either watching, tuning in, or listening, that we are not the experts. We are not physicians. This is just solely based upon Nicole's personal experiences. And then if you guys are also tuning in and maybe are catching this a week or two after the actual published date, Nicole, unfortunately, is leaving us. This is her final week with us. She's going on to bigger and better endeavors and moving on. I believe it's Florida. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, so Nicole, let's go ahead and begin. Just tell us about, because you have two kids. Correct me if I'm wrong, but just share your overall experiences about your progress with working out while being pregnant.
Yeah, so I was, and like Marcia said, I'm not a doctor. This is just my personal experience and what I was comfortable with. So my oldest is 8, and then I have a 2-year-old. And when I had my 8-year-old, it's interesting because I've been through both stages. So I was a high school athlete, and then after high school, I would just do like occasional running, some yoga. I didn't really get into lifting until he was like 2. So with Enzo, he was actually premature, and the whole birth of he was 4 pounds 11 ounces, and so he was half the size of my second child, literally. And the recovery was a lot longer, a little more intense, and I had stitches, and it was a natural birth, but it was very different from when I had Ciro. I was a little bit older. I was a lot stronger. I had no tearing, no drugs. It was a completely natural delivery and recovery. And then I was cleared at 5 weeks postpartum to start working out. And I started lifting and getting more into like CrossFit, HIIT style workouts when my oldest was 2.5. So I went through my entire pregnancy with Ciro, doing CrossFit, lifting heavy, running. I ran a 5K, I ran an 8K with him in my belly.
Oh my God.
I literally worked out the night before it was 2 days before his due date, and he was born August 8th. So July, being super pregnant, I was like, get this baby going, come on. So we had a joke at the gym, like, this is going to be the workout that, he's going to come. So I literally worked out the night before he was born at a 6:30 class, and he was born the next morning at 7:15.
That's awesome. And then can you let us know how much did your second baby weigh in comparison to Enzo, your first baby, who was premature?
Yeah, so Enzo was 4 pounds 11 ounces, and Ciro was 8'6".
Wow, that's a huge difference.
Yes.
How much did you work out with Enzo, your first child, in comparison to your second child?
It was not as much. I would do like home workouts. It'd be very low weight, more cardio. I would walk a lot, run a little bit, and I did like some pregnancy yoga videos. It was before I got into coaching, and I just kind of winged it with that one. It was very inconsistent too. As with Ciro, I was already in the lifestyle a lot more. I was coaching, so I I worked out at least 3 to 4 times a week with Zero, depending on how I was feeling that week.
Do you think that helped with your overall pregnancy and while giving labor for your second child versus your first child?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you have to get any sort of permission from your physician to work out prior to once you found out you were pregnant, or was it just kind of you used your best judgment? How did that come about?
I did. I mean, I like to follow my body and do what I feel is comfortable with. I know my body pretty well and trust myself that way. And then because I had some coaching experience already, I kind of felt confident in what I was going into. But I did consult with my physician before, and he advised me if I'm comfortable and feeling good to continue completely normal, especially through the first trimester. And then I think we'll get into this a little more, but as you go, you have to start to modify things, obviously. But
yeah, that was my next question was there particular exercises that you maybe couldn't do that you had to modify? Do you want to explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so through the first trimester, besides just normal pregnancy things like feeling super low energy, I kind of just trucked through it, for lack of a better word. But yeah, after the first trimester, you want to avoid basically isolated core movements like specific sit-ups. And there's tons of modifications for things. And just because you modify something doesn't mean you don't get just as good of a workout in, of course, as you know. So instead of push-ups, I would do dead bugs or bird dogs or planks. I even felt okay doing personally. Yeah. You could do things like push-ups and planks and burpees after a certain point too. Once your belly's kind of growing on you, you could do elevated, so like on the box or on the wall.
I like that. Were you restricted to the amount of weight you could lift during your workouts?
I was not specifically restricted. I just went with how I felt. Like if I was feeling good one day, I went with it, and if I was feeling tired or just not completely feeling it, I would modify and scale down. But I actually did the CrossFit Open during my pregnancy with Zero, and I will never forget. I was like so pumped and just having a good day and feeling good. And we had like a Friday Night Lights situation, so everybody was at the gym and it was a cool atmosphere. And I actually PR'd my clean and jerk.
Oh my God.
Pregnant.
Do you want to explain to the audience who may not be familiar with what a clean and jerk is?
Yeah, so the clean and jerk is with a full barbell. You pull and shrug up to your shoulders, and then you jerk it above head. So I think it was 170 that day.
Oh my God. That
yeah,
is
and I didn't even realize, because I had my 2 people work with me loading my weight, and I was like, no, add it. And I did it, and I was the one guy that worked out with me a lot. He's like, you just PR'd, and I was like, no, I didn't.
You had no idea.
Yeah, and he's like, mom strength. I was like, oh my gosh,
so cool.
That's awesome.
How far along in your pregnancy were you then?
I was about 6 months at that point.
Okay. Was there any exercises that you felt that were maybe too intense for you to do? Or what would be your advice? I know you said listen to your body, because I recall when I was younger, my mom's like, I can't lift anything more than 30 pounds. So I don't know if that's just a mental mindset, or is that something that I'm completely oblivious because I don't have children. So help me understand, how does all that work?
I mean, again, if you've never lifted before, then you're going to pick up lifting and working out heavily while you're pregnant. It's probably not the best strategy, but because my body was already trained to do so, I felt comfortable doing all that. I would consult with your physician too if you have questions, but I think there's a little bit of an old school stigma around that stuff too. You see tons of athletes now doing all their bodies are trained for it, so they're highly advised to just continue as normal through their pregnancy. The only thing that got me was cardio started to get hard because I was getting a little heavier and my everything's moving around in your body, but you just squats still felt really good, and those are really, really great exercise. Any kind of squats while you're pregnant. Yeah.
What would be your biggest advice for someone that's currently a member inside the studio and they maybe find out that they're pregnant or they're looking to get pregnant and they're already going through a routine? They maybe been with us for 3 to 6 months and maybe longer. What would be your biggest advice for them?
I would say you gotta trust your body. Talk to your partner, and you do what you want to do. Like if you're training already and you want to stay at the gym, I would stay at the gym. Like I was so excited to be doing that when I was pregnant. I was like, this is fun, and it's a new journey, and it was like something to play with, and see how I was feeling. And I would stick it out. It's really good for you to move your body. And you got to do what's comfortable for you. And people, I feel like, will try and scare you. Like even my mom, I'd send her a video like at the gym, and she's like, "Are you crazy?" And I'm like, "No, mom. Like this is normal." Like
yeah. Did you find yourself after pregnancy? Was it easier for you to get back into the routine of things, or was it harder?
It was. I was shocked. Like I remember 4 weeks. I was like, I'm ready to go back to the gym. Like let's do this. And I got cleared at 5 weeks, and I took Ciro. I put him in his little bassinet next to me at my workout station, and I was working out at 5 weeks postpartum, and it was. I mean, I modified things going back. I took it slow, but I felt good jumping back into it and moving again. And I breastfed him too. Like it's good for your body. It's really good for your body to keep everything moving and feeling good. Sure. And mentally too, that whole, I feel like at a certain point through those first couple months after he was born, postpartum depression and all, baby blues is a big thing. I feel like at a certain point, I wasn't even working out for physical aspects. It was for like my mental health too.
Yeah, I like that. So were there any side effects other than maybe the depression as far as from a physical standpoint as opposed to a mental? Explain how that was after pregnancy.
I mean, your body's changing a lot, so you kind of gotta, once you get back into it, and if you start doing something that feels off or weird, I would just stop and modify or change it up or ask my coach. And but I don't really remember anything really specific that I was like, struggled with too much. The biggest thing is like just taking it slow and doing what you're comfortable with afterwards too.
Okay, I like that. Is there something that you would maybe do differently now that you have 2 kids that you would do differently after having the second one versus the first one, as far as your routine of things or maybe how you ate or whatever it is? What would you do differently, or would you just keep everything the same?
I'm glad that I had like 2 different experiences, because it showed me like the big difference and how I felt. And it blows my mind too. Like I thought I was so in such good shape when I had Enzo, and I just remember that recovery process being like so rough. And then with Ciro, I think I would change my eating habits a little bit. I felt like I had a lot of cravings, and I was like, well, I'm working out and I'm pregnant, so I could just eat whatever I want. So I think I'll play with that, if I changed anything. But yeah, I would not do anything different. I would keep it the same. I would keep working out.
I like that.
Along.
Very cool. This is really interesting for me. So is there anything maybe I failed to mention that you would like to add? Any comments, concerns, suggestions, anything of that nature?
I don't think so. I think we covered a lot of it. Have fun with it. I mean, do what you want to do, and if you feel good doing it, then do it. And yeah, like I said, listen to your body, and if you're tired during a workout, slow it down, and you could still, get a good movement on. It's still better than sitting around. Oh, and the biggest thing too, I remember with Enzo, I was like much different weight wise, and the feet swelling towards the end. I like never got that at all with Ciro, so I thought that was pretty cool.
So the feet swelling, was it like you were more inflamed with having Enzo versus Ciro, or was it the other way around?
With Enzo, I was more inflamed versus not moving as much or doing like different. It wasn't exercising as much as I did with Ciro. So with Ciro, because I had the blood flowing more, I feel like my muscles I was stretching more, I was working out more. Even up until the end, you're going to get a little bit of swelling, but it was nothing compared to that first round.
That's crazy. It's like night and day. That's really
Yeah, it really was.
Very
And like I said, I was like 21 when I had Enzo, so it's like your body naturally bounces back pretty quickly at that age.
Right.
I was a few years, 6 years later, so a little bit older, and I thought that was pretty interesting to see how my body changed and went along with that.
Hearing that, knowing that you were so young, you would think that your pregnancy would be better the first go around than the second go around, as not that you're much older, 6 year span, but just knowing that it doesn't matter how old you are, right? You still have those side effects, the feet swelling and not so good pregnancy where Enzo was premature and only 4 pounds. And it's really cool to hear, like, the whole transition from the first birth to the second birth and how much different it is. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Well, not that I plan on being pregnant anytime soon, for that matter, ever, but I did take some mental notes. And I hope that the audience that's tuning in did as well. So with that being said, thank you so much, Nicole, for coming onto the show today. It's been an honor to have you as a coach as well. We wish you nothing but the best. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in, guys, for listening to another episode of Lady Strong Fitcast. Have a blessed day, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Take care.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or whatever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts. And if you really liked this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.